PHQ-9 assessment and scoring. The PHQ is a patient health questionnaire that is a depression and mood test. It is a standardized questionnaire that asks the patient very specific questions about how often they have experienced a certain emotion, mood, or feeling over the last 2 weeks. For each statement, a patient has the option to reply with "not at all," "several days," "more than half the days," and "nearly every day." Each response is correlated to a score. In the OSCE test, if you are presented with a PHQ-9, either in your scenario material or as part of the station itself, it is essential that you address it fully. Not acknowledging and appropriately dealing with the PHQ-9 is a critical fail. If the PHQ-9 is going to be incorporated into the OSCE station, it is likely that the patient's low mood or emotions will be referred to in the scenario paperwork you are given. When speaking to the patient, after performing your SPIN-PAPSA processes, you should confirm that the PHQ-9 does belong to them and ensure they understand why it is used.
I understand that the doctor asked you to fill up some PHQ-9 questionnaire, which I have with me. Okay, so can you try to discuss that with me?
Well, I said to the doctor that I'm just feeling pretty low, really. I'm feeling, well, I've got no energy. I can't be bothered to do anything. And I just feel pretty rubbish about myself at the moment. I find that I keep sort of crying about nothing, really.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Was there any particular reason that made you feel this way?
I've suffered with low mood for quite a while, but I must say this is the worst it's been. I don't know. I mean, I've put on quite a bit of weight recently, and I'm feeling a bit lonely because my son's gone off to university, and it's just me, and the house feels really empty without him.
I know this must be hard for you, but if you need anything or if you want anyone to talk to, we are just here for you, okay, Christine?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
It's very likely in the OSCE that the patient may have filled out the PHQ-9, but may not have totaled up the score at the bottom, so you will need to do this. You just need to total up the numbers which have been circled. To make this easier, you can add up by column first, and then add the 3 column numbers together to get a complete total. Before sitting the OSCE, you should ensure you are familiar with the provisional diagnoses of each scoring board and also the treatment recommendations. This information usually comes alongside the PHQ-9 form. You should also ensure it has the patient's correct demographic information at the top.
So Christine, I'm totaling up your scores in here, and it seems that you have a total score of 15. Okay, so this suggests major depression, which is moderately severe. Okay, so this is not a final diagnosis since we need to confirm this with your doctor, okay?
Yeah.
So we have management for this. So there are antidepressants, and also we have psychotherapy. So do you have any preference on this one?
Being patient-centered means asking the patient what treatment choice they prefer.
Well, I'm already on antidepressants and they don't seem to be working at all.
Okay, so can you tell me how long have you been taking them?
I think I started taking them about 10 days ago.
I see, okay, so for antidepressants, it actually takes 2 to 3 weeks for you to reach its maximum therapeutic benefit. So I want you to, or I suggest you to continue taking them, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Christine, I can also speak with your doctor, since in your PHQ-9 it can also you can be referred to psychotherapy. So this is a one-on-one session with a trained mental health practitioner. So would you like to consider this as well?
Well, I think I'll give it a go.
Okay, then I will definitely refer you to them or ask your doctor about this one, okay?
Thank you.
Just like any other healthcare issue, you should use the assessment process to identify what activities of daily living, ADLs, might be impacted by the change in their mental health. The PHQ-9 provides a lot of indicators on which ADLs could be impacted, which you can use to structure your questions in the assessment process. For example, if the patient says they have a poor appetite or are overeating, you can use this to find out more information about how much they are eating and what their problem is. This may also prompt a referral to the dietary team for a nutritional review.
Okay, so I can also see here that you've reported either poor eating or overeating. So can you tell me which is it?
Well, I think it's definitely overeating. I've been binging on cakes and sweets.
I see. Okay, would you like me to refer you to our dietitian because he might help you with your diet?
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm glad to do that for you again. So again, I want to remind you that exercise can help in your weight. Okay.
You can use information in their patient overview details, such as their vegetarian or halal diet, to personalize their patient experience and treat them as an individual. Given you are time limited in the OSCE, we recommend focusing your questions on the areas where the patient has recorded the most frequent amount of distress. If the patient is feeling bad about themselves on a regular basis, you may want to ask them if this is affecting their communication with others in any way. Equally, if they are having regular thoughts that they would be better off dead or hurting themselves in some way, it may indicate that they may struggle to maintain a safe environment. You should use the scores in the PHQ-9 as a means of starting a meaningful conversation with the patient about how they are feeling and how this is impacting on their day-to-day life. Whatever the patient is struggling with, you should demonstrate empathy with their situation, as this can make the patient feel understood and is something that you are being assessed on in the OSCE.
Okay, so I want you to know that we're here for you, and if you need anyone to talk to, we're always available for you. So just want to remind you, my name again is Nurse Eden, and I'm always available whenever you want to call us, since you already have our number with you. Okay?
Remember, if the patient is in the community, you may want to encourage them to call you if they need assistance, rather than giving them the call bell. You should note that if you are given a patient who is suffering from anxiety, you may be asked to use a similar form to understand more about how they are feeling. The form is called a GAD-7, and the GAD stands for Generalized Anxiety Disorder. Again, with this type of form, you should focus on the areas that are impacting the patient most and use empathy in all your patient interactions.